of love be honorable. Thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow. By one that I'll procure to come to thee. Where and what time thou wilt perform the rite. And all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay. And follow thee my lord throughout the world. Nurse. Within Madam. Juliet. I come, anon but if thou meanest not well. I do beseech thee. Nurse. Within Madam. Juliet. By and by, I come to cease thy suit, and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send. Romeo. So thrive my soul. Juliet. 8,000 times good night. Exit, above. Romeo. 8,000 times the worse, to want thy light. Love goes toward love, as schoolboys from their books. But love from love, toward school with heavy looks. Retiring. Re-enter Juliet, above. Juliet. Hist. Romeo, hist. Oh, for a falconer's voice. To lure this tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse, and may not speak aloud. Else would I tear the cave where echo lies. And make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine. With repetition of my Romeo's name. Romeo. It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night. Like softest music to attending ears. Juliet. Romeo. Romeo. My dear? Juliet. At what o'clock tomorrow? Shall I send to thee? Romeo. At the hour of 9. Juliet. I will not fail, 'tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back. Romeo. Let me stand here till thou remember it. Juliet. I shall forget, to have thee still stand there. Remembering how I love thy company. Romeo. And I'll still stay, to have thee still forget. Forgetting any other home but this. Juliet. 'Tis almost morning, I would have thee gone. And yet no further than a wanton's bird. Who lets it hop a little from her hand. Like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves. And with a silk thread plucks it back again. So loving jealous of his liberty. Romeo. I would I were thy bird. Juliet. Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow, that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Exit above. Romeo. Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace, so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly father's cell. His help to crave, and my dear hap to tell. Exit. Scene 3. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence, with a basket. Friar Lawrence. The grey-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night. Checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light. And flecked darkness like a drunkard reels. From forth day's path and Titan's fiery wheels. Now, ere the sun advance his burning eye. The day to cheer and night's dank dew to dry. I must upfill this osier cage of ours. With baleful weeds and precious juiced flowers. The earth that's nature's mother is her tomb. What is her burying grave that is her womb? And from her womb children of divers kind. We sucking on her natural bosom find. Many for many virtues excellent. None but for some and yet all different. Oh, mickle is the powerful grace that lies in herbs, plants, stones, and their true qualities. For naught so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give. Nor aught so good but strained from that fair use. Revolts from true birth, stumbling on abuse. Virtue itself turns vice, being misapplied. And vice sometimes by action dignified. Within the infant rind of this small flower. Poison hath residence and medicine power. For this, being smelt, with that part cheers each part. Being tasted, slays all senses with the heart. Two such opposed kings encamp them still. In man as well as herbs, grace, and rude will. And where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker death eats up that plant. Enter Romeo. Romeo. Good morrow, father. Friar Lawrence. Benedicite. What early tongue so sweet salutateth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head. So soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Care keeps his watch in every old man's eye. And where care lodges, sleep will never lie. But where unbruised youth with unstuffed brain doth couch his limbs, there golden sleep doth reign. Therefore thy earliness doth me assure thou art uproused by some distemperature. Or if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight. Romeo. That last is true, the sweeter rest was mine. Friar Lawrence. God pardon sin. Wast thou with Rosaline? Romeo. With Rosaline, my ghostly father? No. I have forgot that name, and that name's woe. Friar Lawrence. That's my good son, but where hast thou been, then? Romeo. I'll tell thee, ere thou ask it me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me. That's by me wounded, both are remedies. Within thy help and holy physic lies. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for, lo, my intercession likewise steads my foe. Friar Lawrence. Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift. Romeo. Then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine. And all combined, save what thou must combine. By holy marriage, when and where and how we met, we wooed thee, and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today. Friar Lawrence. Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! Is Rosaline, whom thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. Jesu Maria, what a deal of brine hath washed thee thy sallow cheeks for Rosaline! How much salt water thrown away in waste, to season love, that of it doth not taste. The sun not yet thy sighs from heaven clears, thy old groans ring yet in my ancient ears. Lo, here upon thy cheek the stain doth sit, of an old tear that is not washed thee off yet. If e'er thou wast thyself and these woes thine, thou and these woes were all for Rosaline. And art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then. Women may fall, when there's no strength in men. Romeo. Thou shouldst me oft for loving Rosaline. Friar Lawrence. For doting, not for loving, pupil mine. Romeo. And bad st me bury love. Friar Lawrence. Not in a grave. To lay one in, another out to have. Romeo. I pray thee, chide not, she whom I love now doth grace for grace and love for love allow. The other did not so. Friar Lawrence. Oh, she knew well. Thy love did read by rote and could not spell. But come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect I'll thy assistant be. For this alliance may so happy prove, to turn your household's rancor to pure love. Romeo. Oh, let us hence, I stand on sudden haste. Friar Lawrence. Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast. Exeunt. Scene 4. A street. Enter Benvolio and Mercutio. Mercutio. Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight? Benvolio. Not to his father's, I spoke with his man. Mercutio. Ah, that same pale hard-hearted wench, that Rosaline, torments him so, that he will sure run mad. Benvolio. Tybalt, the kinsman of old Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house. Mercutio. A challenge, on my life. Benvolio. Romeo will answer it. Mercutio. Any man that can write may answer a letter. Benvolio. Nay, he will answer the letter's master, how he dares, being dared. Mercutio. Alas, poor Romeo! He is already dead, stabbed with a white wench's black eye, shot through the ear with a love song, the very pin of his heart cleft with the blind bowboy's butt shaft, and is he a man to encounter Tybalt? Benvolio. Why, what is Tybalt? Mercutio. More than prince of cats, I can tell you. Oh, he is the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion, rests me his minim rest, 1, 2, and the third in your bosom, the very butcher of a silk button, a duellist, a gentleman of the very first house, of the first and second cause. Ah, the immortal passado. The punto reverso. The high. Benvolio. The what? Mercutio. The pox of such antic, lisping, affecting fantasticos, these new tuners of accents. By Jesu. A very good blade. A very tall man. A very good whore. Why, is not this a lamentable thing? Grandsire, that we should be thus afflicted with these strange flies, these fashionmongers, these pertinamies, who stand so much on the new form, that they cannot at ease on the old bench? Oh, there! Bones, their bones. Enter Romeo. Benvolio. Here comes Romeo, here comes Romeo. Mercutio. Without his roe, like a dried herring, flesh, flesh. How art thou fish-iffied? Now is he for the numbers. That Petrarch flowed in, lured to his lady was but a kitchen wench, Mary, she had a better love to berhyme her, Dido a dowdy, Cleopatra a gypsy. Helen and Hero Hildings and harlots, Thisbe a grey. Aye or so, but not to the purpose. Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation. To your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night. Romeo. Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you? Mercutio. The ship, sir, the slip, can you not conceive? Romeo. Pardon, good Mercutio, my business was great, and in such a case as mine a man may strain courtesy. Mercutio. That's as much as to say, such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hams. Romeo. Meaning, to courtesy. Mercutio. Thou hast most kindly hit it. Romeo. A most courteous exposition. Mercutio. Nay, I am the very pink of courtesy. Romeo. Pink for flower. Mercutio. Right. Romeo. Why, then is my pump well flowered. Mercutio. Well said, follow me this jest now till thou hast worn out thy pump, that when the single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain after the wearing soul singular. Romeo. O single soul jest, solely singular for the singleness. Mercutio. Come between us, good Benvolio, my wits faint. Romeo. Switch and spurs, or I'll cry a match. Mercutio. Nay, if thy wits run the wild goose chase, I have done, for thou hast more of the wild goose in one of thy wits than, I am sure, I have in my whole 5. Was I with you there for the goose? Romeo. Thou wast never with me for anything when thou wast not there for the goose. Mercutio. I will bite thee by the ear for that jest. Romeo. Nay, good goose, bite not. Mercutio. Thy wit is a very bitter sweeting, it is a most sharp sauce. Romeo. And is it not well served into a sweet goose? Mercutio. Oh, here's a wit of Cheveril, that stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad. Romeo. I stretch it out for that word broad, which added to the goose, proves thee far and wide a broad goose. Mercutio. Why, is not this better now than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable, now art thou Romeo, now art thou what thou art, by art as well as by nature. For this drivelling love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole. Benvolio. Stop there, stop there. Mercutio. Thou desirest me to stop in my tale against the hair. Benvolio. Thou wouldst else have made thy tail large. Mercutio. Oh, thou art deceived, I would have made it short. For I was come to the whole depth of my tale, and meant, indeed, to occupy the argument no longer. Romeo. Here's goodly gear. Enter nurse and Peter. Mercutio. A sail, a sail. Benvolio. 2, a shirt and a smock. Nurse. Peter. Peter. Anon. Nurse. My fan, Peter. Mercutio. Good Peter, to hide her face, for her fans the fairer face. Nurse. God ye good morrow, gentlemen. Mercutio. God ye good den, fair gentlewomen. Nurse. Is it good den? Mercutio. 'Tis no less, I tell you, for the body hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon. Nurse. Out upon you. What a man are you? Romeo. 1. Gentlewoman, that God hath made for himself to march. Nurse. By my troth, it is well said, for himself to mar. Quoth they. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo? Romeo. I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse. Nurse. You say well. Mercutio. Yeah, is the worst well? Very well took, I faith. Wisely, wisely. Nurse. If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you. Benvolio. She will indict him to some supper. Mercutio. A bod, a bod, a bod. Soho. Romeo. What hast thou found? Mercutio. No hair, sir, unless a hair, sir, in a Lenten pie. That is something stale and hoar ere it be spent. Sings. An old hare whore. And an old hare whore is very good meat in Lent. But a hare that is whore is too much for a score. When it whores ere it be spent. Romeo, will you come to your father's? Will. To dinner, thither. Romeo. I will follow you. Mercutio. Farewell, ancient lady, farewell. Singing. Lady, lady, lady. Exeunt Mercutio and Benvolio. Nurse. Mary, farewell. I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this, that was so full of his ropery? Romeo. A gentleman, nurse, that loves to hear himself talk. And will speak more in a minute than he will stand. To in a month. Nurse. An A speak anything against me, I'll take him down, and A were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks, and if I cannot, I'll find those that shall. Scurvy knave. I am none of his flirt gills, I am none of his skeins mates. And thou must stand by. 2. And suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure? Peter. I saw no man use you a pleasure, if I had, my weapon should quickly have been out, I warrant you, I dare draw as soon as another man, if I see occasion in a good quarrel, and the law on my side. Nurse. Now, afore God, I am so vexed, that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave. Pray you, sir, a word. And as I told you, my young lady bade me inquire you out, what she bade me say, I will keep to myself. But first let me tell ye, if ye should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say, for the gentlewoman is young, and, therefore, if you should deal double with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing. Romeo. Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee. Nurse. Good heart, and, I faith, I will tell her as much. Lord, Lord, she will be a joyful woman. Romeo. What wilt thou tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mark me. Nurse. I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer. Romeo. Bid her devise some means to come to shrift this afternoon. And there she shall at Friar Lawrence' cell be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains. Nurse. No truly sir, not a penny. Romeo. Go to, I say you shall. Nurse. This afternoon, sir. Well, she shall be there. Romeo. And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall. Within this hour my man shall be with thee. And bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell, commend me to thy mistress. Nurse. Now God in heaven bless thee. Hark you, sir. Romeo. What sayest thou, my dear nurse? Nurse. Is your man secret? Did you ne'er hear say? Two may keep counsel, putting one away? Romeo. I warrant thee, my man's as true as steel. Nurse. Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady Lord. Lord. When 'twas a little prating thing there is a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife aboard, but she, good soul, had as lief see a toad, a very toad, as see him. I anger her sometimes and tell her that Paris is the properer man, but, I'll warrant you, when I say so, she looks as pale as any cloud in the versal world. Doth not Rosemary and Romeo begin both with a letter? Romeo. I, nurse, what of that? Both with an R. Nurse. Ah. Mocker. That's the dog's name, R is for the no, I know it begins with some other letter dash, and she hath the prettiest sententious of it, of you, and Rosemary, that it would do you good to hear it. Romeo. Commend me to thy lady. Nurse. I, 1,000 times. Exit Romeo. Peter. Peter. Anon. Nurse. Peter, take my fan, and go before and apace. Exeunt. Scene v. Capulet's orchard. Enter Juliet. Juliet. The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him, that's not so. Oh, she is lame. Love's heralds should be thoughts, which 10 times faster glide than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over lowering hills. Therefore do nimble pinioned doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind-swift Cupid wings. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill. Of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12, is 3 long hours, yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many fain as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead. O God, she comes. Enter nurse and Peter. O honey nurse, what news? Hast thou met with him? Send thy man away. Nurse. Peter, stay at the gate. Exit Peter. Juliet. Now, good sweet nurse O Lord, why look'st thou sad? Though news be sad, yet tell them merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news, by playing it to me with so sour a face. Nurse. I am weary, give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache. What a jaunt have I had. Juliet. I would thou hadst my bones, and I thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee, speak, good nurse, speak. Nurse. Jesu, what haste? Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath? Juliet. How art thou out of breath, when thou hast breath? To say to me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good, or bad? Answer to that. Say either, and I'll stay the circumstance. Let me be satisfied, is tea good or bad? Nurse. Well, you have made a simple choice, you know not how to choose a man, Romeo. No, not he, though his face be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men's, and for a hand, and a foot, and a body. Though they be not to be talked on, yet they are past compare, he is not the flower of courtesy. But, I'll warrant him, as gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench, serve God. What, have you dined at home? Juliet. No, no, but all this did I know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that? Nurse. Lord, how my head aches. What a head have I? It beats as it would fall in 20 pieces. My back other side oh, my back, my back. Beshrew your heart for sending me about to catch my death with jaunting up and down. Juliet. I faith, I am sorry that thou art not well. Sweet, sweet, sweet nurse, tell me, what says my love? Nurse. Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and a courteous, and a kind, and a handsome, and, I warrant, a virtuous where is your mother? Juliet. Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says, like an honest gentleman. Where is your mother? Nurse. O God's lady dear! Are you so hot? Mary, come up, I trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward do your messages yourself. Juliet. Here's such a coil. Come, what says Romeo? Nurse. Have you got leave to go to shrift today? Juliet. I have. Nurse. Then hie you hence to Friar Lawrence' cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. They'll be in scarlet straight at any news. Hie you to church, I must another way. To fetch a ladder, by the which your love must climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. I am the drudge and toil in your delight. But you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, I'll to dinner, hie you to the cell. Juliet. Hie to high fortune. Honest nurse, farewell. Exeunt. Scene 6. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence and Romeo. Friar Lawrence. So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not. Romeo. Amen, amen. But come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love devouring death do what he dare. It is enough I may but call her mine. Friar Lawrence. These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die, like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume, the sweetest honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore love moderately, long love doth so. Too swift arrives as tardy as too slow. Enter Juliet. Here comes the lady, oh, so light of foot, will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamer that idles in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall, so light is vanity. Juliet. Good even to my ghostly confessor. Friar Lawrence. Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both. Juliet. As much to him, else is his thanks too much. Romeo. Ah, Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbor air, and let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter. Juliet. Conceit, more rich in matter than in words, brags of his substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up some of half my wealth. Friar Lawrence. Come, come with me, and we will make short work. For, by your leaves, you shall not stay alone, till Holy Church incorporate two in one. Exeunt. Act 3. Scene I. A public place. Enter Mercutio, Benvolio, page, and servants. Benvolio. I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad. And, if we meet, we shall not scape a brawl. For now, these hot days, is the mad blood stirring. Mercutio. Thou art like one of those fellows that when he enters the confines of a tavern claps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee, and by the operation of the second cup draws it on the drawer, when indeed there is no need. Benvolio. Am I like such a fellow? Mercutio. Come, come, thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy, and as soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody to be moved. Benvolio. And what to? Mercutio. Nay, and there were two such, we should have none. Shortly, for one would kill the other. Thou. Why? Thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more, or a hair less, in his beard, than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. What? I but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel? Thy head is as fun of quarrels as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hath been beaten as addle as an egg for quarreling. Thou hast quarrelled with a man for coughing in the street, because he hath wakened thy dog that hath lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with a tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter? With another, for tying his new shoes with old riband? And yet thou wilt tutor me from quarrelling. Benvolio. And I were so apt to quarrel as thou art, any man should buy the fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter. Mercutio. The fee simple? Oh simple. Benvolio. By my head, here come the Capulets. Mercutio. By my heel, I care not. Enter Tybalt and others. Tybalt. Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good den, a word with one of you. Mercutio. And but one word with one of us? Couple it with something, make it a word and a blow. Tybalt. You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion. Mercutio. Could you not take some occasion without giving? Tybalt. Mercutio, thou consort st with Romeo dash. Mercutio. Consort. What, dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us, look to hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddlestick, here's that shall make you dance. Zounds, consort. Benvolio. We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw unto some private place, and reason coldly of your grievances. Or else depart, here all eyes gaze on us. Mercutio. Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure, I. Enter Romeo. Tybalt. Well, peace be with you, sir, here comes my man. Mercutio. But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery. Marry, go before to field, he'll be your follower. Your worship in that sense may call him man. Tybalt. Romeo, the hate I bear thee can afford no better term than this dash thou art a villain. Romeo. Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage. To such a greeting, villain am I none. Therefore farewell, I see thou knowest me not. Tybalt. Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me, therefore turn and draw. Romeo. I do protest, I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love. And so, good Capulet dash which name I tender, as dearly as my own dash be satisfied. Mercutio. O calm, dishonorable, vile submission. Alastacata carries it away. Draws. Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk? Tybalt. What wouldst thou have with me? Mercutio. Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives, that I mean to make bold withal, and as you shall use me hereafter, drive it the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out of his pitcher? By the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out. Tybalt. I am for you. Drawing. Romeo. Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up. Mercutio. Come, sir, your passado. They fight. Romeo. Draw, Benvolio, beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbidden bandying in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt. Good Mercutio. Tybalt under Romeo's arm stabs Mercutio, and flies with his followers. Mercutio. I am hurt. A play go both your houses. I am sped. Is he gone, and hath nothing? Benvolio. What, art thou hurt? Mercutio. I, a scratch, marry, 'tis enough. Where is my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon. Exit page. Romeo. Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much. Mercutio. No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough, 'twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I am peppered, I warrant, for this world. A plago. Both your houses. Zounds, a dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat, to scratch a man to death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain, that fights by the book of Arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm. Romeo. I thought all for the best. Mercutio. Help me into some house, Benvolio. Or I shall faint. A plague go both your houses. They have made worms meat of me, I have it. And soundly too, your houses. Exeunt Mercutio and Benvolio. Romeo. This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got his mortal hurt. In my behalf, my reputation stained he. With Tybalt's slander dashed Tybalt, that an hour hath been my kinsman. O sweet Juliet! Thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper softened thee valor's steel. Re-enter Benvolio. Benvolio. O Romeo, Romeo, brave Mercutio's dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds, which too untimely here did scorn the earth. Romeo. This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe, others must end. Benvolio. Here comes the furious Tybalt back again. Romeo. Alive, in triumph. And Mercutio slain. Away to heaven, respective lenity. And fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Re-enter Tybalt. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again. That late thou gavest me, for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou, or I, or both, must go with him. Tybalt. Thou, wretched boy, that didst consort him here, shalt with him hence. Romeo. This shall determine that. They fight, Tybalt falls. Benvolio. Romeo, away, be gone. The citizens are up, and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed, the prince will doom thee death. If thou art taken, hence, be gone, away. Romeo. Oh, I am fortune's fool. Benvolio. Why dost thou stay? Exit Romeo. Enter citizens, and see. First citizen. Which way ran he that killed thee Mercutio? Tybalt, that murderer, which way ran he? Benvolio. There lies that Tybalt. First citizen. Up, sir, go with me. I charge thee in the prince's name, obey. Enter prince, attended, Montague, Capulet, their wives, and others. Prince. Where are the vile beginners of this fray? Benvolio. O noble prince, I can discover all. The unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man, slain by young Romeo. That slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio. Lady Capulet. Tybalt, my cousin. O my brother's child. O prince. O cousin. Husband. Oh, the blood is spilt. O my dear kinsman. Prince, as thou art true. For blood of ours, shed blood of Montague. O cousin, cousin. Prince. Benvolio, who began this bloody fray? Benvolio. Tybalt, here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bade him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged withal your high displeasure, all this uttered. With gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed he. Could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who all as hot, turns deadly point to point, and, with a martial scorn, with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo he cries aloud. Hold, friends. Friends, part, and, swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio, and then Tybalt fled. but by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained the revenge. And to tea they go like lightning, for, ere I could draw to part them, was stout Tybalt slain. And, as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die. Lady Capulet. He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false, he speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife. And all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, Prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt, Romeo must not live. Prince. Romeo slew him, he slew Mercutio. Who now the price of his dear blood doth owe? Montague. Not Romeo, Prince, he was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes but what the law should end. The life of Tybalt. Prince. And for that offence, immediately we do exile him hence. I have an interest in your hate's proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. But I'll amerce you with so strong a fine, that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses. Nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore use none, let Romeo hence in haste. Else, when he's found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill. Exeunt. Scene 2. Capulet's orchard. Enter Juliet. Juliet. Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds. Towards Phoebus' lodging, such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west. And bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaway's eyes may wink and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or, if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil night, thou sober-suited matron, all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match. Play thee for a pair of stainless maidenhoods, hood my unmanned blood, bathing in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love, grown bold, think true love acted simple modesty. Come, night, come, Romeo, come, thou day in night. For thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle night, come, loving, black-browed night. Give me my Romeo, and, when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars. And he will make the face of heaven so fine, that all the world will be in love with night, and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it, and, though I am sold, not yet enjoyed so tedious is this day, as is the night before some festival, to an impatient child that hath new robes, and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Enter nurse, with cords. Now, nurse, what news? What hast thou there? The cords that Romeo bid thee fetch? Nurse. I, the cords. Throws them down. Juliet. I may. What news? Why dost thou wring thy hands? Nurse. Ah, well a day. He's dead, he's dead, he's dead. We are undone, lady, we are undone. Alack the day. He's gone, he's killed he's dead. Juliet. Can heaven be so envious? Nurse. Romeo can. Though heaven cannot, O Romeo, Romeo. Whoever would have thought it? Romeo. Juliet. What devil art thou, that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I. And that bare vowel I shall poison more than the death-darting eye of cockatrice. I am not I, if there be such an eye. Or those eyes shut, that make thee answer I dot. If he be slain, say I, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine of my will or woe. Nurse. I saw the wound, I saw it with mine eyes dash. God save the mark, dash here on his manly breast. A piteous course, a bloody piteous course. Pale, pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood. All in gore blood, I swounded at the sight. Juliet. Oh, break, my heart. Poor bankrupt, break at once. To prison, eyes, ne'er look on liberty. Vile earth, to earth resign, and motion here. And thou and Romeo press one heavy bier. Nurse. O Tybalt, Tybalt, the best friend I had. O courteous Tybalt. Honest gentleman. That ever I should live to see thee dead. Juliet. What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered, and is Tybalt dead? My dear loved cousin, and my dearer lord? Then, dreadful trumpet, sound the general doom. For who is living, if those two are gone? Nurse. Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished. Juliet. O God! Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood? Nurse. It did, alas the day, it did. Juliet. O serpent heart, hid with a flowering face? Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant. Fiend angelical. Dove-feathered raven. Wolvish ravening lamb. Despised substance of divinest show. Just opposite to what thou justly seemest. A damned saint, an honorable villain. O nature, what hadst thou to do in hell? When thou didst bower the spirit of a fiend. In moral paradise of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such vile matter? So fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace. Nurse. There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men, all perjured, all forsworn, all naught, all dissemblers. Ah, where's my man? Give me some aqua vitae. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo. Juliet. Blistered be thy tongue. For such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is ashamed to sit. For 'tis a throne where honor may be crowned. Sole monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him. Nurse. Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin? Juliet. Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Ah, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name? When I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But, wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you, mistaking, offer up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain. And Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort, wherefore weep I then? Some word there was, worser than Tybalt's death. That murdered me, I would forget it fain. But, oh, it presses to my memory. Like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. That banished, that one word banished, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough, if it had ended there. Or, if sour woe delights in fellowship, and needly will be ranked with other griefs. Why followed not, when she said Tybalt's dead? Thy father, or thy mother, nay, or both. Which modern lamentations might have moved. But with a rear ward following Tybalt's death. Romeo is banished, to speak that word. Is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet. All slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure, bound. In that word's death, no words can that woe sound. Where is my father, and my mother, nurse? Nurse. Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither. Juliet. Wash they his wounds with tears, mine shall be spent. When theirs are dry, for Romeo's banishment. Take up those cords, poor ropes, you are beguiled. Both you and I, for Romeo is exiled. He made you for a highway to my bed. But I, a maid, die maiden widowed. Come, cords, come, nurse, I'll to my wedding bed. And death, not Romeo, take my maidenhead. Nurse. Hie to your chamber, I'll find Romeo. To comfort you, I wot well where he is. Hark ye, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him, he is hid at Lawrence' cell. Juliet. Oh, find him. Give this ring to my true knight. And bid him come to take his last farewell. Exeunt. Scene 3. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence. Friar Lawrence. Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man. Affliction is enamoured of thy parts. And thou art wedded to calamity. Enter Romeo. Romeo. Father, what news? What is the prince's doom? What sorrow craves acquaintance at my hand? That I yet know not. Friar Lawrence. Too familiar. Is my dear son with such sour company? I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom. Romeo. What less than doomsday is the prince's doom? Friar Lawrence. A gentler judgment vanished thee from his lips. Not body's death, but body's banishment. Romeo. Ha, banishment. Be merciful, say death. For exile hath more terror in his look. Much more than death, do not say banishment. Friar Lawrence. Hence from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide. Romeo. There is no world without Verona walls. But purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished thee from the world. And world's exile is death, then banished. Is death mistermed thee, calling death banishment? Thou cuttest my head off with a golden axe. And smilest upon the stroke that murders me. Friar Lawrence. O deadly sin! O rude unthankfulness! Thy fault our law calls death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed thee aside the law. And turned thee that black word death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not. Romeo. 'Tis torture, and not mercy, heaven is here. Where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog. And little mouse, every unworthy thing. Live here in heaven and may look on her. But Romeo may not, more validity. More honorable state, more courtship lives? In carrion flies than Romeo, they may seize. On the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand. And steal immortal blessing from her lips. Who even in pure and vestal modesty. Still blush, as thinking their own kisses sin. But Romeo may not, he is banished. Flies may do this, but I from this must fly. They are free men, but I am banished. And sayest thou yet that exile is not death? Hadst thou no poison mixed thee, no sharp ground knife? No sudden mean of death, though ne'er so mean? But banished to kill me, banished? O friar, the damned use that word in hell. Howlings attended, how hast thou the heart? Being a divine, a ghostly confessor. A sin absolver, and my friend professed thee. To mangle me with that word banished? Friar Lawrence. Thou fond madman, hear me but speak a word. Romeo. Oh, thou wilt speak again of banishment. Friar Lawrence. I'll give thee armor to keep off that word. Adversity's sweet milk, philosophy. To comfort thee, though thou art banished. Romeo. Yet banished? Hang up philosophy. Unless philosophy can make a Juliet. Disp land a town, reverse a prince's doom. It helps not, it prevails not, talk no more. Friar Lawrence. Oh, then I see that madmen have no ears. Romeo. How should they, when that wise men have no eyes? Friar Lawrence. Let me dispute with thee of thy estate. Romeo. Thou canst not speak of that thou dost not feel. Wert thou as young as I, Juliet thy love. An hour but married, Tybalt murdered. Doting like me and like me banished. Then mightst thou speak, then mightst thou tear thy hair. And fall upon the ground, as I do now. Taking the measure of an unmade grave. Knocking within. Friar Lawrence. Arise, one knocks, good Romeo, hide thyself. Romeo. Not I, unless the breath of heartsick groans. Mist-like, enfold me from the search of eyes. Knocking. Friar Lawrence. Hark, how they knock. Who's there? Romeo, arise. Thou wilt be taken. Stay a while. Stand up. Knocking. Run to my study. By and by. God's will. What simpleness is this? I come, I come. Knocking. Who knocks so hard? Whence come you? What's your will? Nurse. Within let me come in, and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet. Friar Lawrence. Welcome, then. Enter nurse. Nurse. O holy friar, oh, tell me, holy friar. Where is my lady's lord, where's Romeo? Friar Lawrence. There on the ground, with his own tears made drunk. Nurse. Oh, he is even in my mistress' case. Just in her case. Oh woeful sympathy. Piteous predicament. Even so lies she. Blubbering and weeping, weeping and blubbering. Stand up, stand, and you be a man. For Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an o? Romeo. Nurse. Nurse. Ah sir. Ah sir. Well, death's the end of all. Romeo. Spakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Doth she not think me an old murderer? Now I have stained thee the childhood of our joy. With blood removed but little from her own? Where is she? And how doth she? And what says my concealed lady to our cancelled love? Nurse. Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps and weeps. And now falls on her bed, and then starts up. And Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries. And then down falls again. Romeo. As if that name, shot from the deadly level of a gun, did murder her, as that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me. In what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me, that I may sack the hateful mansion. Drawing his sword. Friar Lawrence. Hold thy desperate hand. Art thou a man? Thy form cries out thou art. Thy tears are womanish, thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast. Unseemly woman in a seeming man. Or ill-beseeming beast in seeming both. Thou hast amazed me, by my holy order. I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself? And stay thy lady too that lives in thee? By doing damned hate upon thyself? Why railest thou on thy birth, the heaven and earth? Since birth, and heaven, and earth, all three do meet in thee at once, which thou at once wouldst lose. Fie, thou shamest thy shape, thy love, thy wit. Which, like a usurer, abound st in all. And usest none in that true use indeed, which should bedeck thy shape, thy love, thy wit. Thy noble shape is but a form of wax, digressing from the valor of a man. Thy dear love sworn but hollow perjury, killing that love which thou hast vowed to cherish. Thy wit, that ornament to shape and love, misshapen in the conduct of them both, like powder in a skitless soldier's flask, is set afire by thine own ignorance, and thou dismembered with thine own defense. What, rouse thee, man? Thy Juliet is alive, for whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead. There art thou happy, Tybalt would kill thee. But thou slewest Tybalt, there art thou happy too. The law that threatened thee death becomes thy friend, and turns it to exile, there art thou happy. A pack of blessings lights up upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array. But, like a misbehaved and sullen wench, thou poutest upon thy fortune and thy love. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go, get thee to thy love, as was decreed. Ascend her chamber, hence and comfort her. But look thou stay not till the watch be set. For then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live, till we can find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back, with 20,000 times more joy, than thou wentest forth in lamentation. Go before, nurse, commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming. Nurse. O Lord, I could have stayed here all the night, to hear good counsel. Oh, what learning is! My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come. Romeo. Do so, and bid my sweet prepare to chide. Nurse. Here, sir, a ring she bid me give you, sir. Hie you, make haste, for it grows very late. Exit. Romeo. How well my comfort is revived by this. Friar Lawrence. Go hence, good night, and here stands all your state. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by the break of day disguised from hence. Sojourn in Mantua, I'll find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me thy hand, 'tis late, farewell, good night. Romeo. But that a joy past joy calls out on me. It were a grief, so brief to part with thee, farewell. Exeunt. Scene 4. A room in Capulet's house. Enter Capulet, Lady Capulet, and Paris. Capulet. Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily, that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly. And so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis very late, she'll not come down tonight. I promise you, but for your company, I would have been abed an hour ago. Paris. These times of woe afford no time to woo. Madam, good night, commend me to your daughter. Lady Capulet. I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she is moody up to her heaviness. Capulet. Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender. Of my child's love, I think she will be ruled in all respects by me, nay, more, I doubt it not. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her here of my son Paris' love, and bid her, mark you me, on Wednesday next. But, soft. What day is this? Paris. Monday, my lord. Capulet. Monday. Ha, ha. Well, Wednesday is too soon. Oh Thursday let it be, oh Thursday, tell her. She shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste? We'll keep no great ado a friend or two. For, hark you, Tybalt being slain so late, It may be thought we held him carelessly. Being our kinsman, if we revel much. Therefore we'll have some half a dozen friends. And there an end. But what say you to Thursday? Paris. My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow. Capulet. Well, get you gone, O Thursday be it, then. Go you to Juliet ere you go to bed. Prepare her, wife, against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord. Light to my chamber, ho. Afore me. It is so very very late, that we may call it early by and by. Good night. Exeunt. Scene V. Capulet's orchard. Enter Romeo and Juliet above, at the window. Juliet. Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale, and not the lark, that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yon pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale. Romeo. It was the lark, the herald of the morn. No nightingale, look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die. Juliet. Yon light is not daylight, I know it, it is some meteor that the sun exhales, to be to thee this night a torch-bearer, and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet, thou needst not to be gone. Romeo. Let me be ta'en, let me be put to death. I am content, so thou wilt have it so. I'll say yon grey is not the morning's eye. 'Tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow. Nor that is not the lark, whose notes do beat the vaulty heaven so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death, and welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is 't, my soul? Let's talk, it is not day. Juliet. It is, hie hence, be gone, away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth not so, for she divide thus. Some say the lark and loathed toad change eyes. Oh, now I would they had changed voices too. Since arm from arm that voice doth us affray, hunting thee hence with hunts up to the day. Oh, now be gone, more light and light it grows. Romeo. More light and light, more dark and dark our woes. Enter nurse, to the chamber. Nurse. Madam. Juliet. Nurse. Nurse. Your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke, be wary, look about. Exit. Juliet. Then, window, let day in, and let life out.